Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Absolutely. My name is Benny. That is Sal, and this is Benny's radio voice, telling you that today we're talking about Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. We're going to go over a brief topic of why do DC fans only want one video game in existence, and then I'm going to explain the plot to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League to Sal to get a hardcore comic book fans' reactions to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. What is this like patch here that is, what is going on with my beard?
I don't know. Yeah, it's just that one spot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you were trimming and you got too aggressive.
Maybe. I don't know. Chat, let me know in the comments down below what happened to Benny's beard. Anyway,
yeah. What's the story there?
There's a story there. Give me the backstory of why there's suddenly a hole. I know I get it occasionally, and what it is it's pointing straight out, and you guys think I have like this weird like reverse.
But it's just not. Yeah.
I've been accused of having a reverse soul patch.
Yes. That's fair.
All right, so the first thing I want to ask you before we get into this, Sal, because you're a fan of comic book games. You played every Arkham game. You play every Spider-Man game.
That's true. I've done that.
But all the outlier ones, like Avengers, Gotham Knights, you take or leave. You don't.
I completely passed on both of those. Yeah. My wife played those, and she had varying degrees of enjoyment related to those two titles specifically. But yeah, I as I understand it, I was vindicated for not playing them.
Well, Avengers I felt actually was good. Avengers' problem was the main story was great, but then they tacked on the live service, and you could tell they'd never done that before and didn't know what to do.
Oops.
That was the big issue with their live service. And then it came out during COVID, so they couldn't go in and fix things in a timely manner. They couldn't get content out in a timely manner. It was the nail in the coffin for that whole project.
Totally.
Gotham Knights I actually fully did enjoy. I actually had no issue with the Gotham Knights. I thought it was a great game, a fun little plot. It wasn't on the level of Arkham Knight, but I thought it was a great game.
Yeah.
And now Suicide Squad, in my opinion, is a good game, but I will say I don't have any idea why they chose to do this.
Right. Like, it was, no, you know, you're a gamer and an old school comics fan like myself. So like you remember Penny Arcade.
Yeah.
Penny Arcade did a great comic about this particular thing. And they just completely eviscerated Rocksteady for it, where they basically play, the premise is like an old white Warner Brothers executive calls somebody at Rocksteady and just goes, yeah, we need you to do a looter shooter for no good reason. And they're like, yeah, we don't really do that. We make like legendary games that other developers copy. And they're like, yeah, well, Destiny's kind of big right now, so incinerate your entire legacy. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what they did. Congratulations. Now, I've heard like rumors that like, people are like, how could Rocksteady do this? And it's like, oh, no one who works at Rocksteady right now has been working on the old game. Like, no one from the Arkham development team even is there anymore.
That's a constant, people don't seem to understand that. There is a constant discussion here. Like, oh my God, what happened to BioWare? What happened to Rocksteady? What happened to Blizzard?
Games. Like, come on.
Well, the guys who made the games you enjoyed left and made other studios, or they left the industry because their games sold like crazy. They got millions of dollars of like bonuses and called it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what happened to those guys. The company is not who made those games. The people who made, because I looked that up when Suicide Squad came out. It's totally different writers, totally different team. It's not the same people.
Yeah.
Now, when I got to meet with them in December, I asked them outright, what happened to the rumored Superman game? What happened to the rumored like Tim Drake game? Why is this the one you chose?
Right.
Their response was not, we got shoehorned into this. Their response is they thought they could have a lot more creative freedom making a Suicide Squad game than just doing what everyone wanted.
Right.
Which, okay.
All right.
I respect that. Is it true or not? I don't know.
It's a good line.
Right. And honestly, I feel like that. Because I feel like that's like why movies like Guardians of the Galaxy exist. Hey, James Gunn, who do you want to direct? Give me this team that no one knows about, and I can do whatever I want with them.
Hell, the Guardians of the Galaxy game. That game that came out of nowhere and was a lot of fun and was really well made and well received.
Yep.
Just and like why? You know what I mean? Like why Guardians? And it's like, we thought it'd be fun. Good varying degrees of gameplay and character and story. A lot of opportunity. Yeah, it makes sense.
This game reminds me the most of of Guardians of the Galaxy game, but with a live service tacked onto it.
Right.
Now, I will say, unlike Avengers live service, which felt tacked on, or the situation with Gotham Knights, which for me felt like there was a live service that they ripped out because they were turning it into a single player.
Yeah, that was weird.
This felt complete. Like, this is how it was always intended to be.
Mm-hmm.
At no point do you feel like, oh, well, now I'm going into the parts they didn't want to do and had to cram into the game.
Which is interesting because didn't they like go back to the drawing board for a couple of years? Wasn't it like that? Suicide Squad was supposed to come out like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it's way behind schedule. Yeah.
And then they pulled it immediately. Like once the rumor came out that it was a looter shooter and that it was going to be online only, it immediately disappeared.
Yeah.
And then came back triumphantly now.
Right. So the big question I have though is why is it, do you think, the superhero fans refuse to back anything that's not Spider-Man or Spider-Man by Insomniac,
right,
or Arkhamverse? Because Guardians bombed
Yep.
critically, Midnight Suns bombed critically, not critically, I'm sorry, financially. Because both those games got very good reviews.
Yeah, people love those games.
Yep. Marvel Avengers bombed financially.
Yep.
Also got shit on by critically.
And was bad.
It had its moments. It had its moment. But yes, I'll agree. Overall, if you had to like,
Wasn't great.
Gotham Knights got middling reviews and financially bombed.
Yes, that's right.
And right now, based on everyone thinks that PC is the only platform, you're seeing oh my God, the Steam player count is so low. And I'm like, what about Xbox, PlayStation? Like,
yeah, what about like the majority of casual gamers?
Yeah, like they're not playing them on Steam. I get your argument, and it could be valid, but I've seen games with far lower player counts on Steam survive years. There's a game I play called Super Mecha Champions.
Okay.
It's the concept, it's the battle royale where you're anime girls or guys jumping into giant robots.
Awesome.
Right. It's a great game. I love it. But on Steam, it has like 400 concurrent players.
Wow.
But it's cross-play with mobile, and on mobile, it has millions.
There you go.
So, like, if you were to look at it on Steam, you're like, this is a terrible game, not doing well. But if you look at it on mobile, you're like, oh.
I get it. Yeah.
So anyway, I don't think it's crossplay, but either way, that's where the numbers are coming in from.
Sure.
They just have to do minimal stuff to support the stupid thing.
Yeah.
I play a lot of app games that also have a Steam client, and that's where, like, if you look at the Steam client, you're like, this is doing terrible.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but mobile, it made $2 million in 1 month. So.
Right. So it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, going back to what I'm saying, why do you think it is that comic book fans are so against anything that isn't just Batman or Spider-Man? Because that seems to be the trend. Because Guardians is a great game.
Yeah, I mean, there's an element of popularity. Obviously, Batman and Spider-Man, two most popular characters. They're going to be the largest reach. You're going to capture not just the comic book fan, but the casual fan, but the non-comic book fan who just wants to play as Spider-Man or Batman. You're going to catch everybody with that. Guardians is tougher because Guardians, everybody went to go see Guardians, but mostly because of the Marvel machine, not because of the brand recognition. Right. Because the movie was good, people then associated brand recognition and quality with that brand. The problem, I think, with Guardians and why people didn't embrace that as hard as Arkham or Spider-Man is just because they didn't know the game existed, and they didn't know what kind of game it was going to be. You know, there were a lot of people who were like really on the fence about Suicide Squad because it was just like, is this online all? Like, is this a single player game? Is this a multiplayer game? Is this couch? I don't even know what this game's supposed to be, you know?
Well, they did a terrible job promoting both Guardians and Suicide Squad.
Right?
It's like, even now, people are like, oh, so it's just a looter shooter? Like, no, there's a really strong narrative in there. Oh, okay. Well, what is it? Arkham? No, it's kind of like Sunset Overdrive. Like, they did a huge push in January to like, this is what the game is.
Yeah.
WB finally said we could tell you.
Right. No, it was a smart move. But like the Guardians one, I think they were like really proud of how the game came out, and they thought word of mouth was going to be louder and bigger. I thought they were like, once we release the game, people are going to lose their minds. And it's like, you missed the window. I think that's the problem.
They missed the window, I think, on a couple things. One, looter shooter / online always games have not done well since COVID.
No.
Like, we've got the champions of it that have claimed the title.
Totally.
There is room for other ones, but what a lot of people don't understand, and I think this is an executive level thing, not like a Rocksteady thing. A looter shooter game, an online only game, is not so much a job. I don't consider them jobs. You can turn them all into jobs.
Totally.
But I don't. But I have to work it into my schedule.
Yes.
So, like, case in point, okay, Mondays and Tuesdays, I'll meet up with my brother and play some video games.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to play Suicide Squad, then we're playing Call of Duty, or we're playing Fortnite, or we're playing whatever game he decided to pick up for the week.
Yeah.
Then Wednesday, I got to meet up with my Final Fantasy crew because we got to do our Final Fantasy stuff. Mm-hmm. No, it's like different groups of friends. It's no different.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's just, but it sounds like you're scheduling meetings for a business.
Well, it kind of is, yeah. Because all right, now I'm meeting up with these guys. Like, so then like Thursday's an open day that I could do some stuff, but Friday's another Final Fantasy group thing. You know, and then Saturday, Sunday, we try to do the Destiny stuff. It's like, where am I supposed to put another live service into this?
There's just no way.
And the old issue with World of Warcraft was you put so much time into it already, you don't want to drop it.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Exactly. But with those...
the chat's like, Jesus Christ, buddy.
What?
Let me clarify real quick. I have a gaming group for everything I'm doing, but I do go out and do other things. Basically, we schedule. If you could show up, cool. If you can't, no one's holding it against you. Except for like a very few number of things we do. Like,
yeah. But with respect to those other games, I mean, like, they're also it's fun. It's like both Spider-Man and Batman. And honestly, I think Spider-Man wouldn't exist without the Arkham influence.
I 100% agree with you on that. Yeah.
Right? It's third player.
It feels like Spider-Man Arkham. That's exactly what it feels like.
Which is all I wanted.
Like,
when I was playing Arkham 1, I was like, just do Spider-Man. Like, obviously, you can't do an open world, full immersive New York City kind of environment. But if you locate it to like these two areas, you know, you could have a really fun experience. But no, they blew the doors off, and they were like, we can do that, and we'll do it better and better. And I'm like, hell yeah, we're in. But like back when we were playing Arkham, we were like, I could imagine this for so many characters, because how many of these superheroes are like beloved because they're immersively like street level and relatable. Like, if you take the Batman formula and you go, oh, make another game using this mechanic, it's like, oh, Daredevil, Wolverine, Spider-Man,
all great.
You know, Green Arrow. Like, you could do these any of the members of the Bat family. You could do a Nightwing game in Bloodhaven. You could do a Batgirl game. You could do anything. So there is remember that Captain America game that came out, like, that was tied in with the first movie, and how like that was just Arkham Captain America? Yeah. And it was like, oh yeah, like, and that's a fun game that like you can get for probably $1 because no one played it. But like it was a good idea to use that mechanic or that like sensibility, because it was like because it was proven and it works. You know, why people aren't willing to Stray is because it's immersive, and it's quick to start, it's quick to drop out, it's easy to play, and it's fun, and it's a character that's relatable and understandable. I don't have to learn a bunch of lore. You know, I learn lore about Batman by playing the game, and I like, oh, Humpty Dum, like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, that's insane. You know, Spider-Man, oh, I catch all the spider bots, I learn about all the different Spider-Men, cool. But like, that's all superfluous when you think about like the main focus, which is like fighting Venom, or like, you know, being in love, you know, like, oh, I get it, it's a Spider-Man. Those are easy to understand. It's why it's so successful.
And the formula of the game is super easy too, because
So
it's not just Spider-Man and Arkham that have used them. A lot of games have used that formula that Rocksteady kind of pioneered.
yeah, that they perfected, you know?
It's like that, like how every other month we have another Dark Souls wannabe game that plays the exact same way.
Yep.
Dodge roll, you get heavy with gear. The Batman stuff's okay, you get a counter, then you're gonna flip through 20 guys. It's gonna be cool. You know, like,
yeah, chain your attack. I mean, it's Insomniac managed to make it feel fresh while also being like respectful. You know, I was like, this does not feel like you just took that and did this. It feels like a successor to that.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, is that like Insomniac, they didn't get Rocksteady to make the Spider-Man game. Insomniac developed Spider-Man. So you got multiple studios who are inspired by each other and innovating on the idea that works. So I think that's why people like play those games. That's why they stick with those games. That's why they line up around the block to get their sequels. It's why the main complaint about Spider-Man 2, no one's complaining about the mechanics. No one's complaining about how immersive web slinging is. You know, the only mechanic or technical thing that I've heard anyone complain about when it comes to Spider-Man is that like I lost the gadgets. But even then, that's that's more of a cosmetic thing anyway, because with the first game, it's very like gadget heavy. In this one, it's more about the suit. It's more about that new mechanic we invented. So I totally get that. Their complaint is the story, because they're able to turn off any element of their brain that requires all like the learning and gymnastics that require you to like learn a game and learn the moves and learn how the character flows and how to execute actions or act or you know, whatever attacks. That's what I meant to say. And instead just think about like, do I care? You know, is Mary Jane relatable? Is Venom cool? Is Craven too far? You know, like people are, and so that's why, like, even though the game is huge and it did well, people are, I'm sure, on the fence about whether people love this game or not, because they're like, because I heard a lot of people complaining about the story, but like nobody's complaining about how friggin' fun it is.
No, every review that I see is generally like the gameplay's great. There's a few outliers. The biggest
Yeah, of
complaints
course.
I'm seeing are at the end game loop is kind of lacking.
Right
But
on.
when you beat the game, they're like, in a month, end game starts. So it's like, okay, so this is just filler shit to
Yeah.
keep us busy.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's but like with Suicide Squad, it's like that ain't that, but it looks like that. And that's the other problem. Like they said everything wrong. They were like, it's in the Arkham universe. So immediately you're gonna draw a conclusion, like you're gonna draw
Oh, yeah.
connections to Arkham.
I feel like they thought that was going to sell the game more.
They sure
And
did.
I could have told you right away, you can't do that.
Now maybe
Unless
it's
you're
because
making a true Arkham successor.
yes,
Which make it about Nightwing or Tim or do another character and
Yes.
then move on with Arkham. You can't just be like, so we're going to take the DNA of Arkham and not use it, and we're going to take the combat system of Arkham and not use it. But we got Batman.
Yeah. But and we're gonna like beat him up and
Yeah,
drag him
like-
through the mud. Like it's gonna be really weird. And it's like, and they couldn't have counted on Kevin Conroy's untimely passing.
No,
So,
but
like,
it doesn't help.
it doesn't help. It really, really hurt them. Like that's another. It's such a big element that people either are thinking about or aren't thinking about, but are reacting to whether they want to or not. That it's worth mentioning as an element to the game's failure.
Yeah.
Because like it's that effective. Because it was also an element to Arkham Origins like less than favorable reception. They were like,
Yeah.
why isn't Kevin Conroy in this? Why isn't Rocksteady making this game? Like immediately people were like upset with Arkham Origins, even though it's like basically the same type of game.
Oh, I mean, I don't mind Arkham Origins, but
I don't
you're right.
mind it.
WB and Rocksteady should have taken the reaction to Arkham Origins and been like, maybe we shouldn't put this in the Arkhamverse and not do any Arkham stuff.
I mean, I understand the idea, and like
I
think
want to
it's smart.
clarify real
I would
quick.
have done the same thing.
I want to clarify. Like, I like this game, but easily would have loved a proper Arkham game about another superhero. I actually wonder why, if WB wants to make bank and try new things, why they weren't like, okay, make this Suicide Squad live service game.
Yeah.
But also, let's do a Flash game, a Superman game. Get a different studio. Doesn't have to be Rocksteady. You know what I mean? Like they did Gotham Knights. You got gaming studios, WB.
There was a movie that's like been in development hell. I want to say since like the early 2000s. I think it was called something like Project Supermax or something like that. And the idea was it was a prison escape movie. The whole movie was like it's about this guy who's in a Supermax prison and he needs to escape. And then the reveal is it's Green Arrow. And that was like it's been a conversation since before the superhero genre became a thing that everyone loves. It was way before.
Yeah.
And you know, you're Warner Brothers, you own that. Just do that. Like you set it in Arkham, it's rebuilt. Batman's off the grid because, of course, you know, end of Arkham Knight, whatever. And you're Green Arrow, and you're in the Arkham place, or you're in the Supermax prison where the other supervillains are that aren't Batman related. But like that's, and then you set it in the Arkham universe, and you go like, it's another one. You know, and you know, it's a lot of hand-to-hand combat, and then like once he gets the arrows, the game completely changes to like this other element. It adds this other element to it. But that's what you could do. Or and of course, like it's funny that you said that the development team was like, we wanted to make the Suicide Squad game, because the rumors have always been that they wanted to make a Superman game.
But what I mean, and they could just be saying it for marketing purposes, but they were like, we at no point
we're making one.
We're making a Superman game. We were never even considering a Superman game.
Yeah. Now I did see test footage.
We did forget there is a Wonder Woman game coming out, so maybe this is going to be the like, okay, so if we do an Arkham thing, about other heroes, will you guys play it?
Right. Well, the Wonder Woman game.
Why does it always have to be like a AAA giant budget? Like that the idea for that Green Arrow game.
Yeah.
That could be like an independent company. I mean, have you even heard of a game called Sifu, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Sifu's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Made on a low budget, great game. You come out with one of those kinds of things for Green Arrow breaking out of Supermax,
totally.
$30 game, you'd sell like crazy.
Yeah. No, I agree. It doesn't need to be like a tens of millions of dollar development. Wonder Woman's going to be like a God of War game, though, right? Like it's
okay. But I mean, why not do that? Why not try these different things?
I agree.
So, we actually don't know. That's the rumor right now.
Well, then that's
the Wonder Woman game is going to finally get some information, I think, next month.
Oh, cool. So, all right, great. Well, we'll talk
all
about it.
They were keeping it quiet because they didn't want to like supersede Suicide Squad.
Makes sense to me, you know? Yeah. And what's funny is, you know, now, what was it? Is the games are going to be tied in with the James Gunn initiative. So it's
yes
like,
and no. He clarified that a little bit better. He clarified that. Yeah. He's like, some will, not all.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I mean, Suicide Squad easily is in the James Gunn universe. The whole plot is Elseworlds.
Right. Yeah, no, they're part of that universe because there is an Elseworlds.
I do want to clarify because Tevye brought it up. There was rumors about a Damian Wayne Batman Beyond game. More information about that came out. Apparently, it was never made by Rocksteady. It was by a different company, but apparently that was real.
Oh.
But so much of it leaked, they scrapped the whole project because
Wow.
one of those leaks came out and released everything about
Yeah.
it. And everyone got hyped, but they're like, our game's revealed to the world.
Yeah.
We'll just make something else.
Oh, what a shame we lost.
Oh,
Kevin
they made
Conroy.
Gotham Knights instead.
Oh.
That was what they made instead of that Damian.
Honestly, you know, that's great because I would rather Rocksteady made Arkham Beyond. And it's just Batman Beyond the game.
Yeah.
Like the problem is now we lost Kevin Conroy, so you can't play old
I
games.
actually like I'm one of the few guys that likes, not few. There's actually when they play it, most people seem to like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And it's slowly gaining traction for people ignoring all the haters and stupid shit.
Exactly.
But I can't lie to you. I would have loved Arkham Beyond or a Damian Wayne Arkham game or a Nightwing centric game
or a Superman game.
Or
they weren't going to make it, but
you do what you made with Suicide Squad, but you do it with the League.
Yeah.
I mean, how easily would it have been like, Sal, you want to play a little bit of games? You can be Superman. His gameplay is a little wonky because they had to make him work with the other heroes, but it's still fun. Would you not have been like, I'm there, I'll be Superman?
Yeah, I want to play as the League. I want to try that. And I don't want to have to like build towards a Justice League game the way they did the Avengers movies where it's like, oh no, you get a Flash game, you get a Green Lantern game, you get a Wonder Woman game, you get until you finally can make a Justice League game. Now I played the Justice League game now. I'm down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that largely the audience is, and I think there's another element to the reason why this game was rejected largely by like the comic book community. And I think it's for the reason that I didn't buy it and didn't play it. I didn't like the premise from the jump. Like from the jump, they were like, Justice League is killed by the Suicide Squad. And they're like, and they're really going to do it. Like, I remember them saying it back when the game was announced. They were like, no, it's real. Like it's not just in name. It's not like it's, phony, twist. It is the Justice League being killed by the Suicide Squad. And I'm like, yeah, hi. This is the first time I'm seeing Superman in a AAA selling video game. I'd like to see him be Superman for a minute, please, or play as him. And they're like, no, he's gonna die. And I'm like, yeah, that's not appealing to me. So like, just from the jump, I'm not sold by the premise. And then they're like, and it's a looter shooter. That game style you hate. Like, oh, cool. So strike 5.
Yeah. That was what I mean. I brought that up in my video when I made the video on this, and I brought up Injustice because I know you.
I don't like the universe, but I get it. Like,
but what I'm saying is, you were my example. I didn't call you out by name just in case you don't want me to, but I was like, I know people that to this day refuse to interact with Injustice because of how Superman is treated.
I don't care. I don't like it because of the effect it's had. Like, Injustice for me, the problem with Injustice, the premise is fine. There's a million bad Supermen and stories about Superman like being drugged through the mud. Injustice is not the worst offender of those types of stories.
No, definitely worse.
My issue is that the culture at large today misinterpreted Injustice so hard that like they treat Injustice Superman as like a better version of Superman. Or that they're like, oh man, I love Superman just as much as I love Omni-Man. And I'm like, you're not supposed to love Omni-Man.
Yeah, it's weird. It's funny because I saw a tweet related to this and people are like, Superman's been dunked on for years, but Batman fans, one time Batman gets dunked on, they're freaking out.
Yeah, that's what happens when one of the most popular characters you've ever owned is dunked on. Like, it's the difference, especially when that version of your character is voiced by the most beloved portrayal of that character in existence, and he just tragically passed away.
On top of that, I think what makes it even worse is Arkham was done.
Right.
It was
over.
And they basically dragged him out to murder him.
That sucks. Like that. Yeah. Because
Arkham's back and he's dead.
Yeah. And I hate that a lot. And I hate it on so many levels. And there's no part of me that's like, boy, the mechanics in this game is fantastic. That's not going to fix it for me.
Yeah.
But I'm not a gamer.
My overall opinion, and we're going to do it in a separate video now because this was so long.
Yeah.
But me explaining the plot, I just feel like if they were gonna do that, and I'll give you what I would have done to tweak the story as just a generic guy in the internet, white guy with a beard.
Right.
What I would have done to tweak it and make it more acceptable when I talk about the story.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like he was underutilized. If you're gonna pull him out, he should have been like front and center, the big baddie we're after.
Yeah.
You know, like if we're gonna do this, do it.
Right? Yeah. No, it's true.
But all right. That's our opinions on the situation. This video went long enough, so we're going to make a second video where I explain the plot of what actually happened to Suicide Squad. Not the memes, not the hatred. I've beat the game all the way through. I'm going to explain it to Sal and see what he thinks. Stick around. On the video will probably come out tomorrow or the day after. Thank you guys so much.